Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You already know me. You know me every single time. I'm Brittany Clausen. I'm happy to be here. How are you? How are you doing? Let's talk about that. How are you doing? If you're listening to this at any time of the day, it's probably been exhausting. And while I know it's been exhausting, I am so proud of you and I am so thankful that you're here. We're going to talk about negative thinking. We're going to talk about stopping negative thoughts today. That is on my heart. I think that is something that we do all the time. And this is a reminder and hopefully a practice that you can begin. If you already haven't been doing your work, this is a reminder and a practice to get going on it. If you haven't, or if you just need that kick in the pants, right? Negative thinking. It is much more easy for us to go to the negative side of things than the positive in general. In general, you can be a positive person, but there are things that get the best of us. If we haven't had our food for the day, like, or adequate food, like junk food, if you haven't got enough sleep, if you got into a fight with your friend or your partner, all of these things affect your mindset. And negative thinking just creeps right in. I really, okay, whatever. I was wanting to blur my background. If you're watching this on YouTube, you know that I am juggling around with the camera screen. But negative thinking is common in all of us. So know that you're not alone. If you're somebody who veers towards negative thoughts more often than not, you're not alone. I do it often. Other people do it often. It's the way of the world. It's part of the logic. It's part of what we do in order to rationalize with things, but it doesn't always make it okay, right? So I think we have to talk about it because we get so quickly to it after we just say something like, I'm going to work on this goal. And then boom, the negative thought just seeps right in. Mm-mm. We know that negative thoughts drain our cognitive resources. Negative thoughts drain our cognitive resources, all the stuff, all the beautiful stuff that's in your brain, kaput out the window when there's some negative thinking. So that leaves you with less capacity to focus and make decisions for yourself and others around you, right? That's where bias creeps in. That's where some opinions about others, that's when we become a little bit more sassy with it, right? Like, what's on, who do they think they are? When you are not in a good headspace, you end up criticizing other people like 10 times more. Tell me you don't. Tell me you don't. So, I want to tell you that when you are at an increased level of negative thinking, that is 40% less productivity because you cannot problem solve anything. That's what the research by Smith in 2020 said. So look it up from APA, American Psychology Association. I have to bring that in. I have to start bringing in statistics because this is not my opinion. I just make it sound really good as my opinion, but it's true. It's very true. So I say that because if you know that negative thinking is not going to help you grow and it's not going to help you achieve your goals, why are we doing it? We do it for so many reasons, but one of the reasons is that we want to assume what the potential worst case scenario would be so we can solve it. So, but guess what? Every time we try to get to the end of something, like, oh, what's going to happen? We're not rationalizing. We're actually like setting ourselves up for doom. For doom. Because assuming the worst possible outcome means that you're also manifesting what you think is coming. So while you're over here thinking, let me explore like all the possible problems that could go wrong, you're also making the case for it to go wrong. So squash that. I mean, if that was part of your philosophy in helping yourself achieve goals, it's the opposite. So don't do that. We also do negative thinking when we're trying to be black and white about things, when we're trying to figure out in situations what's the right or wrong way to do things. And I often talk about this in trainings and coaching, but living in the gray area is sometimes where we have to be. You have to be in a gray area, holding space for multiple truths, meaning there's more than one reality to a situation. And holding space for that means pausing. That's what holding space is, pausing, like reflecting, thinking about it. And you may not come up with a solution, but negative thinking, when you're trying to go black and white, means that you are automatically judging not just your situation and what you're going through, how you're going to solve it. And even if, let's say you have a team, or let's just say you have people that you're trying to figure this out with, when it's black and white, you can forget about that collaboration. You can forget about trying to get them involved. In fact, they're going to take a back seat. If you're a black and white thinker, your people are taking a back seat on you and your whole approach, just so you know. You're driving the boat, but you're also the only person in that boat. I'm laughing because it's something that I have done, especially if you've ever been a micromanager. Like if you have anxiety about goals and how to do things managing people wise, this is something that we all struggle with. But you have to release that control, live in the gray area, allow people to exercise their strengths, right? Trust your people. Trust that if they want to be in this work with you, they're going to do what they need to do too. And if they don't, time will tell. You'll be able to adjust to be either adding additional support for them or just letting them go, frankly. Sometimes it's like that. And that's the way of life. If you're a negative thinker, sometimes you like to take responsibility for things that are completely out of your control. Sometimes we tell ourselves, well, we didn't hit this goal because I'm a bad leader, or my child did this and I'm a bad mom or I'm a bad dad. And that's when you're trying to take control of things that are so external to you in terms of how you could have handled it. Like you only know what you know when you know it. And when you know it, then you apply it. But in the meantime, you got to let it roll. Let it roll because there are lessons to be learned in that experience for you and the other people. If you just judge it and try to get down to the root and be so focused on trying to make sure it's pleasant for you and your comfort, you miss out on all those growth opportunities. Then you wonder why you're not getting that promotion or your marriage is going downhill or your friendships, you don't have any friends. Hey, back it up. Sorry, I have this pup and she just loves playing around with me. Anyway, so I say that because if you try to control everything, you won't allow natural growths to seep in. Like, think about construction. Like, okay, construction in Minnesota worked on every day all year long. Like, we don't go a day without construction. So because of that, we're actively working towards our goals, but then also we're removing growth. Like, I'm trying to get to the scenario where you know that if you don't let things water, not in traffic, okay, that was a terrible example. Let's think of something else. When do you have to, oh, I overwatered some plants over the summer, like heavy. I'm like a new wanting to be great green thumb. I don't really have it yet, but I'm hoping one day it'll just come alive. And I overwatered my plants to the point where they were just drowning in the water. They could not withstand it, and they did not go anywhere. I grew one baby jalapeno, and because of all the chemicals that were in the soil, it was a wrap. It was a total wrap. You can't, I'm not eating that, but it was cute. I mean, but it was like, oh, next year I have to be a little bit more confident that when I water just enough, and then you got to let it go. You got to let it go so it can grow. That's what I'm asking you to let things go so that it can grow. Let it go so that it can grow. Whew. Child, I know it's hard. hmm I know it's hard. Let it grow, let it go so it can grow. Because you can't tell the future. You really can't. I mean, I know we want to. I know there's a lot of fear that we have of the unknown. We'd like to put everything in our control, but has that ever really worked out for you? Like, seriously, like, really think about it. Has it ever worked out for you before? Mm. And if it has, email me because I want to know. I really do. But again, the power of manifestation is real. So be careful of what you ask for by your tongue, by what you say. You have to be careful about what you say. So recognize the ways, the steps to stopping negative thinking. Everybody say hi, Duchess. If you're watching, you see my pup in the background, and she's here with me. Um, Steps to stopping thinking. One, you have to be aware that you are thinking a negative thought. Like you have to bring awareness to be like, hold up, that wasn't right. This is negative what I'm thinking. Label the thought, label it as a negative thought. The more you practice mindfulness on the times that you're not negative thinking, the more you practice mindfulness, the more you become aware when you are thinking negative thoughts. And then you need to challenge that thought. When you get to that negative thought, you need to challenge it. You need to ask yourself, what is the evidence that this negative thought will come to fruition? What's the core evidence? Like, what are the facts leading up to this that make that a reality? So you need to ask yourself, is there any evidence that supports this negative thought? What is that? You actually need to think about it. Like, don't just be like, yeah, because so and so said this and that's my evidence. Not good enough. You need to go back in to what your character is, your demeanor, your attitude, your ambition, other people's ambition, their strengths. You need to challenge that whole thought with multiple evidence, based questioning so that you're able to really hone in on what am I really worried about here? What is the worst thing that could potentially happen in this situation? And then I need you to reframe it. So instead of saying, this is the worst thing ever to happen to me, you shift your perspectives and say, this happened for me so that I can do X. It's a good learning opportunity, right? I mean, we don't like those words. We don't like saying it's a good learning opportunity. We don't like saying, oh, thank you for being in my life for 10 years and now we got to end things. Thank you for that learning opportunity. But seriously, what did it teach you though? Like, if you take yourself out of it, what things did you learn from that experience? Because I believe that things propel you into the next phase of where you're supposed to go. Do you? I mean, think about your life. Like the things that have happened so tragically set you up for the next thing, right? It felt like a tunnel of doom, but then somehow light came. Think about that. Shifting your perspective to find something either neutral, like level playing field, or thinking about the positive about it. Having those aha moments. And then what you have to do next is practice gratitude. What are you grateful about in that experience? Like seriously, give me like five. Give me five things you're grateful for. Five. Like say it right now. We have time. Say it right now. Pause this if you're listening. Say it right now. And after you do that, after you practice your gratitude, remove any negative distractions that are making you go to the negative side of that thinking, increasing positive things that are, I wouldn't say distracting necessarily, but like help you to put it on the shelf, as my grandma would say, put it on the shelf, literally. So redirecting your focus to activities like exercise, journaling, problem solving in a healthier way, right? What are the things that you can redirect your mind so that you could really focus on the happy, positive things that are keeping you in the right direction? So, like, if you know that you have a relationship you ended over the 10 years, that's the scenario. Instead of like ruminating on it negative, like, oh, I will never find somebody like what I'm looking for. I'm just kind of by myself all day long. You can say, no, I'm going to get myself ready to enjoy myself the way I need to be treated, inviting other people around me to treat me the way that I would like to be treated. That is redirecting. So I would be going to exercise, I would be eating healthier, I would be doing the things that I want to do for myself and that I expect that other people will do around me as well and for me because I deserve it. That is productive thinking and helping to redirect your thoughts. And then, you know, put in a couple affirmations. Put in affirmations that help you when you get to those negative thinking, because they just pop right in randomly. They just pop right in. So instead of saying I'm not good enough, say I'm capable and I am continually improving. Notice it went from but, like sometimes we say, yeah, I'm good enough, but like remove but and replace it with and. It is so powerful. Seriously, take the but and put and in there and see how that changes your life. And let me know. Let me know. And then from there, continue to break down smaller goals, smaller tasks, so that things don't seem overwhelming. So instead of trying to do like a whole U-Haul of like this new life that you have, sit with it and just break them up into smaller tasks. Like, for example, I mean, I really am trying to write this research plan so that I can create a report and make a research case study out of it. And instead of trying to do it all in a day, I'm just breaking it up chunk by chunk. First, I just created the plan, like what is the plan? And then I made it realistic to where it's like, oh, I'm only working on it 2 hours a week right now. That's manageable. That's manageable for me because anything outside of that, because of my normal work, that's too much. Like that's overwhelming, extremely overwhelming. I won't be doing anything. And so instead of being negative and being like, oh, you'll never get it done, you're not a researcher, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I can get it done. It's just going to take some time. And here's my plan in order to do it. And I'm going to be gentle with myself and I'm going to speak positive about myself in that entire process. So the moral of the story today is to stop your negative thoughts by focusing in on you and being gentle with yourself and how you talk about yourself and knowing that there's multiple truths to one situation. Stop questioning why it happened to you. It happened for you. It's messed up. You might think, Brittany, well, how could getting a divorce be better for me? How could losing a child be better for me? How could getting fired from my job be better for me? Circle back a year from now to this video and ask that same question, and you answer it this time. If you can help yourself by recognizing and reframing your thoughts, you can really reclaim your mental bandwidth to be able to handle these negative thoughts when they come. You could just pass them to the side because you see positivity in what you're learning about yourself and the world around you. And that's we're just here for experiences. You'll hear me say it all over again. We're here for experiences. Know that, trust that, believe in that. You are capable of anything you put yourself to, and that is all we're doing, right? That's all we're doing. So focus in on that, trust yourself, reframe those negative thoughts so you can really direct your life in the way that you want it to go. Hey, if you liked this video or listen to this podcast and you have a specific topic you'd like me to talk about, please email hello, HELLO, at envisiongreatness.org. Tell me the topic, or if you have a question, tell me what your question is. I can answer it on the podcast either during our regular scheduled programming or after hours. If you know about the new after hours, it's on YouTube. Technically I'm just going live. I pick a few days out of the week to just go live and talk about things that happen after hours. If you liked this, go ahead and subscribe. Share it with your friends and family. I hope that I can stay in touch with you, and I hope that this was helpful for you. And I hope that you have a better day redirecting your negative thoughts into something positive that you can take away from. And with that, I am going to break away and say peace out. Talk to you soon.